All the time. My daddy was handsome. He produced a sexy ass, cute ass daughter.
Tell him again.
My daddy produced a cute
okay.
ass daughter. My mama too. My mama pretty, so don't get it
How's my
twisted.
thing though?
I got my
25 minutes in. You on?
I got my features from my daddy, but I got my cuteness from my mama.
Features. Okay, that's cool. I don't know.
Ask somebody. I actually did ask somebody this weekend when I was in New York, and we was talking about that.
What did they say your features were?
I mean, it was me and my brother and two of my cousins, and we were talking because we was, talking about how
Well,
we
wouldn't
were.
y'all have the same features of y'all a family?
Me and my brother do. Out of all me and my middle brother Brian, out of all of my siblings, I think me and him are.
His name is Ryan.
Brian. Would it be?
Just Brian.
Brian.
I thought they would have like an extravagant name like your name.
No, actually, all my brother's names are I love y'all, but y'all got basic ass names like.
Damn, she told you I was basic.
No.
You didn't say
But like, it kind of makes me upset because I'm like, how y'all get the basic names, but me and my sister got like the black girl names.
Cause y'all black girls.
Exactly, but
Are
like
there such
they
things as black men names?
Yeah, like Raekwon.
Yeah, I mean, okay.
Devontae.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I thought the name was gonna be like a name that has a meaning behind it. Leroy. You ain't met nobody our age named no Leroy. No, you have not. Who you know this name Leroy? No, that you met like. No, that's our age.
That's our age.
You know
so
Leroy?
my best friend Vanessa has a friend named Leroy.
He our age.
He is our age.
He from up there?
He's from New York. Yeah.
It's a New York nigga named Leroy. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. That's some no.
It is definitely.
That's
It
some
is.
country
And when
shit.
I was
Leroy?
like, oh, okay.
His name
But
is
I didn't
country.
think anything of it because I mean, it's just a name. Like it's not.
Well, what's your sister name?
Lavonda.
Okay. Okay. But what? Okay, so Brian.
Marcus.
Oh, it gets worse. Well, that's a black person name though. Marcus.
Mhm.
Just a little generic, but okay.
Ricky.
I'm done. Welcome back, guys, to another episode of.
It's like that.
That was flat, but I'll let you have it because
I mean, you
basic names. Your brother
my
got some basic
out.
names.
Because like we do like
No.
the girls' names are unique.
You
and
do
the
not.
guys.
Your brother have basic ass name, and you call him basic. That was a good description.
But
of
they all.
adjective.
But you know what? They all got really good jobs.
Is their middle name basic too?
I mean, two of them.
Do up north people get middle names? Do y'all get middle
One
names?
of them is my brother Marcus. His middle name is pretty basic. My brother Ricky, I ain't gonna say his middle name.
Yeah, don't say. I'm just saying
On
like.
camera because my nephew also has the same middle name and they both hate it, and I just think it's the funniest thing in America.
So is your middle name kind of like a little bit country, like Mary or something?
No, my middle name is Monique.
Oh, they did you all the way up.
I mean,
You're a whole ebony goddess to the fullest. Okay. I guess I'm talking, but my name is basic too, but it just spelled not basic.
I mean, but like, it's actually interesting that we're gonna have this conversation because I always say if I have a daughter or a son, really, my first child is gonna be named Taylor, and
Taylor.
yes, it's because it's my mom's maiden name, and my mom always talks about like her dad, because her dad is someone that raised her, but of course, she can't carry on that family name because she got married. And like I just always liked the name Taylor, and I felt like it's the perfect name for like.
Did you spell it different?
No, I would spell it exactly how my mom's maiden name is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's interesting because there's actually a person on Big Brother, and her name is Taylor, and she's in the Big Brother's house right now.
Right.
And she's dealing with like a lot of like microaggressions and like straight up, but not even microaggressions, like a lot of them. But she's dealing with like just straight up bullying and stuff, And it's interesting that I was leaving the airport this weekend. I traveled, and I kind of had an experience as well. And I was just like, wow, like
You didn't think it would happen to you?
I don't know, it's happened to me plenty of times, but it's interesting how people automatically think that you're supposed to react because they put like this stereotype on you because you're a black woman.
Angry black woman.
And exactly. And when you react differently or when you check them in a different way, it almost like
it shocks them.
It shocks them, and it also makes like others around you see in a different light.
Do you feel like that? Do you feel like when you check them in a way that they haven't been checked before, do you feel like they learn something and then from there on out they kind of change the way they do or like talk to females?
It really depends. It really depends on the situation. So let me tell you about my experience that happened actually just a few days ago. I went to New York because my niece, she graduated from Penn State, and then she also has gotten a great job offer and she's moving away. So she had a graduation party / going away party. And I went up there, I created 4 beautiful balloon arches and 2 balloon columns, and they worked, y'all. But normally I drive, but like I love flying, and like I was just like, you know what, the cheapness of the flights now, it's so much easier to take a 1-hour flight instead of driving 8 or 9 hours. So you know, I decided to fly. On my way back, do you know how you're walking through to where a baggage claim is at and everything?
Once you get back.
Yeah, and you have that part where it's like, is there a sign there, and it's like, once you leave beyond this point, you can't return unless you have to go back through security again, right? So right before we approached that area, there was like a little alarm thing, and it kind of went off. But like I kept walking because I was like, first of all, 1, we're leaving out, and then 2, it's like
it ain't me.
So like I'm good, but like sometimes I talk to myself out loud, and I probably shouldn't have talked to myself out loud. But like yes, I should have because it was my space, it's my mouth, and I can say what I want to myself. So I was just like, to myself, I was like, dang, well, I have to go off, like, as I'm about to walk out through here, right? But it wasn't said at no particular person. It wasn't said to anyone. It was just me thinking out loud. I'm actually traveling by myself. At this point, I had got my flight delayed like 5 or 6 times. I just want to get home. I just want to get home. So I said that out loud, and then there was this Caucasian, older, bigger, white lady, and she was just like, I know, why'd I have to go when we all walked through it? She was like, it's okay, we could all just point to you. And I was like, so me, because I'm not that like aggressive person, I just smiled and laughed with her. I was just like, no, it's okay. We all could just point to you. And then she was like, everybody still smiling. Well, why would you want to just point to me? I said, because you just decided that everyone will point to me. And I said, why did you decide that everyone wanted to point to me out of the crowd? Is it because I'm literally the only brown face that's walking through? And her smile went but I saw other people continued to smile at me because they knew exactly what I was talking about, and they knew it was a microaggression that she was just like, oh well, she's the only brown face in the crowd, so everybody's gonna automatically point to her. But really, the only person that had that idea was you, and you're showing yourself in this moment. You're showing your bias and your racism in this moment. And I walked away from that situation still with a smile on my face because I did absolutely nothing wrong. And then having smiles continuously from other people because, they all heard exactly what I said because at that moment I said it loud enough for other people to hear me.
On purpose.
On purpose because, I was just like, wow, like there's literally like 15 people walking through at the same time, and you literally picked me out of everybody to say everybody is going to point to me. Why is everybody going to point to me? And why did you pick me out the crowd? Because I picked you out because you said my name.
Facts.
So, she left with a frown on her face, and
she turned red.
And, you know.
I like when they turn red sometimes when they feel embarrassed.
I mean,
or heated.
I kind of felt like, you know, sometimes people might not even realize their own bias or their own microaggressions that they have towards certain people if they're not called out on it. And I don't think I call her out in a rude or disrespectful way. I simply just asked her, you know, why did you point me out of 15 people that's walking at the same time? Why did you point out the only black face in the crowd?
You just said, why did I pick you out? Why not?
Yeah, you know, like, no, and she asked me, she said, why did you, I said, because you pointed me out of 15 people in the crowd. Right. And I'm the only brown face. So as the only brown face, why did you point me out?
She had no words.
She didn't, and she walked complete opposite way. And, you know,
because I was getting your bags like off the.
Well, I had a carry-on bag, so I didn't need to go directly to the baggage claim. I just went and got my ride.
Okay.
Exited the airport.
This is when you was okay.
It's a long day.
I mean, has that the first time that's like, I don't know if I've had like, I don't know, like I see them all the time, like examples of it, but I've never had like a direct like event or experience.
That's good. Like, that's good for you.
But then I feel like it's sometimes it comes off, it's good, and then I had somebody like tell me that I probably won't because the color of my brown skin. It's like, it was like, that's just that light skin issue. I hate that too.
Yeah, because that's still colorism.
It's still like, and then I feel like, granted, it probably is the reason why I haven't went through that. You know what I'm saying? But doesn't mean I can.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean I can. But I see it all the time, but I haven't necessarily been in that type of like, it's like event or moment. But I mean, like, I like how you handle it. I don't know if I don't know, because I have to, it depends on what mood I'm in. Like, if I'm with the shits that day, I'm with the shits. But if I don't have time and I'm trying to get somewhere, or, you know what I'm saying, I might have done that just to like, just to be a little smart ass, but in a nice way to still have a smile and it wouldn't affect my mood.
I mean, it didn't affect my mood because, like,
that was a way to do it without affecting your mood.
It was, one, and then two, like, y'all, first of all, my flight was supposed to leave at 2:30 in the afternoon, okay? My flight didn't pull off from LaGuardia until after 7 o'clock. Okay, so that's how many delays I had, and that's how long I had been waiting at the airport. So really and truly, when I first got to the airport and I was 1 minute away and it told me that my flight was going to be delayed an hour, when I was 1 minute away from the airport, that's when my mood got bad. And my brother was like, oh, I can just take you back and bring you back. No, I didn't want you to do that because I didn't want to, one, have you pay the toll to go across the bridge. And then two, gas is like $5 a gallon in New York. So like,
it would have only a 30-minute difference. You would take me home to room back in 30 minutes.
Drop me off at this airport and I would wait my ass at the airport like everybody else. And you know, when I first got there, I'm not gonna lie, I was very upset. But I was able to pray, and I was able to realize how lucky I was because there were a whole bunch of people whose flight actually got canceled instead of just delayed. So I was okay with my little delay, you know. Once I realized people was getting canceled and they was getting rescheduled for the next day. Yeah. And you know, I was like,
it's funny because you was flying to New York when. So my friend, she flew out on Friday from New York trying to come down here.
And it was delays because when I was flying there, it was delays. And when I
it was a storm. She was coming to South Carolina, and it was a storm in South Carolina. They had to do like an emergency landing in Norfolk.
Wow.
And then she was supposed to get like 11. She didn't get there until like 2:30 in the morning. 2:30 in the morning. And they was like, they had told her when she got on the airplane, like, it's going to be some turbulence because we're going through a storm. And so her nerves was like, on 10. I'm kind of laughing only because I'm like, you should have flew out yesterday.
Listen, I mean, if she would have flew out the day before, it still would have been delays because I flew out Thursday night and it was actually delays
before, without even the weather.
But that was only like a 2-hour delay. I was upset, but I really wasn't that tripping. But
so do you really think that let me ask you, do you think your mood had you been in a better mood, do you feel like it would have reacted to you different when she said that?
I honestly think I was in a great mood when that occurred. After when I first got to the airport, my mood was crappy. Like I was mad, like because I was just like, yo, you couldn't tell me like 2 hours before my flight, so I wouldn't even have been on my way to the airport. You told me like an hour and 45 minutes before my flight, because I got to the airport like an hour and a half before my flight was scheduled to leave, only because that airport, the area that is in, literally, it took me less than 5 minutes to get through security. And that's them checking my ID, that's me going with the bag and everything to security. It literally took me less than 5 minutes because there was zero line. And I was just like, I don't have to be there 2 hours before. So if they would have told me before, I wouldn't have been too mad. But after I prayed and I realized, other people's flight is getting canceled, and when I went by the Delta section, the Delta Sky, and got me some free snacks and stuff in my system.
Free snacks. What kind of free snacks? I don't know.
I mean, they had all type of free snacks in the Delta Sky Club. So
I don't. I haven't formed that much to know all about airports and the perks and the snacks.
Yeah, so once I got that in my system, I was just like, you know what, it is what it is. I'm gonna just wait it out. I get home when I get home. I'd rather get home safely and not have any trouble on a plane than to have the pilot rush. We go through turbulence, something happens to the plane, and then we end up crashing, and my mama's last baby end up, going missing or something.
Okay.
So I was very much okay. I was very much just extremely happy and grateful to be in Raleigh, getting off the plane. So really, when she called me, I was in a really good mood because I was like, I'm about to be home.
Right, like I'm home. Like I'm back.
You don't understand the day I had.
Oh my Lord.
You don't understand the day I had, and now I'm home.
You had snacks.
I did, exactly. That's why I was in such a good mood, because I was home. I still had snacks left over because I put some in my bag. So I had snacks for later. So I was very much ecstatic and very much happy. So, if I was really still in a grumpy mood, she probably would have got cussed out, because like at the end of the day, like,
so
you don't deserve my energy.
So let me ask you this, because you was talking about Taylor from Big Brother. So do you feel like give me an example of like her being labeled like the angry black female?
So, one example was, there's a guy that recently got eliminated. His name is Pooch. They call him Coochie Coochie.
I'm done. Coochie killer. Okay.
No, not even, because he was snuggled up with Joseph, but that's another story. But like, he was so convinced that Taylor was going home because they were both on the block together, that he was just like, yeah, when she goes home, I can't wait to see her explode. And I'm like, the entire time Taylor has been in the house, she has never yelled at anyone. She has never risen her voice to anyone. She has never even been mean to anyone. Like, when people, she said to someone, when people feels hurt or when people feel stuff, she said, I empathize with them so much that I can feel their pain. And I can relate to her on that level. So when she does try to extend herself to them, they not only that they think it's fake, because they already have this preconceived
they want her to react a certain way.
They want her to react a certain way, or they want her to be mean, or want her to be in a mean-spirited way, but that's just simply not her character. So she said something to the other black guy that's on the show. His name is Monty, and we all had our issues with him because he was definitely the ringleader of the We Don't Like Taylor Club at the beginning. But
so let me get
he's coming around.
When she came in, before like the show started, episodes went on,
when they first come in, nobody knows each other. But when she walks in, she's already Miss Michigan. Okay. So when she walks,
they already had this little. I got her.
When she walks into a room as a black woman, because I feel this way as well. When you walk into a room and you feel like you have a certain presence and your presence intimidates others, you feel like you have to almost dim your light or tone down who you are, tone down your personality just to make everyone else comfortable.
Okay.
So when she first walked in, she didn't do that. She was just herself.
But that was their insecurity.
And that was their insecurity, seeing her like, oh wow, who is this woman that could just walk into a room and connect automatically with all the guys, and all the guys just take to her. And because they all had that insecurity within themselves, because one, she is a beautiful woman.
So it was only the women that was having this. Like,
there was only the women that had this issue with her at first. And once the women started getting up, had that insecurity with her, they found a way to flip it and turn it to the guys, so that the guys would start treating her a negative way as well. So they would start saying like little things to her, or like not even telling her what's actually going on or what's wrong. They would just talk about her behind her back, and when she comes in the room and she'll be like, what's going on or what's wrong, no one wanted to actually say to her or like to her face how they really felt. And it's really because they really had no valid reason to hate her. It was simply that her confidence, the confidence in who she was, just by her simply existing, made them feel insecure about who they were. Because there's other black women that's in the house. They're like half black, but they don't relate to her because they're a fairer tone, like Jasmine. Like she's very, very like
very, very
like you call yourself paper sack fan.
Yeah, I'm paper brown bad, but I am out of that gang now.
She about 5, 6, 7 to 9 shades lighter than you, and she has blue eyes, but she is not as confident as Taylor, and she doesn't understand why Taylor has this like aura about her where she just radiates like, I walked in the room and I don't feel insecure about myself or about me being in any type of situation because I am secure in myself. So I can have a conversation with everybody. But because she had a conversation with all the guys and all the girls felt intimidated by her, all the girls went into a separate room, formed the alliance without her, and said that they were all the girls, and Taylor wasn't a girl because she was hanging out with all the guys. But it's just
that's because she probably go through that a lot though with females too.
Yeah, and
she's female.
She grew up in the pageant world, so. But the crazy thing is, y'all calling her all these names and saying all this stuff, but she was literally voted Miss Congeniality in Miss America. Like, what? Like, she was voted the name of the movie. Like, come on now.
I love that movie, by the way.
Yeah.
But, I think sometimes people see something they would like to have as far as like personality wise or characteristic wise, and they're not that, and so it kind of, I don't want to say the word jealous, but definitely maybe envy,
intimidated.
I feel like I don't like that word, because I don't know if they're intimidated. I think they just simply don't like her because she's doing and getting attention that, what I'm saying. So I don't think it's intimidating. I do think it's they don't like her because she can demand a room, or because she has attention that they're, even if they don't want it, it's still attention. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's the catalyst for me. Now, is it because of her skin? I don't know. I think they want her to react to certain situations a certain way. Yeah, I do believe
because she's not giving them the typical black woman, or even not even black woman. She's not giving an emotional response
that they want.
And because I've seen many podcasts with white women, and they all say the same thing. If that was me, I would have just went off. They would have had to like call me for bail and stuff like that. I think her name is like Jody or something like that. Shout out to that YouTube page. I'll try to get like a link to her page below. But yeah, she said something, and she was literally disgusted as a white woman watching how a man can just speak to this woman the way that he did.
Yeah.
Black, white, Latino, doesn't matter. Like, and for any man to feel like that he can speak to Taylor the way that Daniel spoke to her for something that he has no idea what really happened.
Well, it wasn't even to him. It had nothing to do with him.
Or he wasn't even in the room. Like, he literally had...
The situation still had nothing to do with whether he was in the room or not.
And yeah. And for all you guys that didn't watch it, we're referring to Nicole. She was out in the other room and she was crying, and Taylor went in the room to try to comfort her. And when Nicole left out the room, Nicole went to Daniel and she spun the situation to try to make it seem like Taylor was being microaggressive to her to tell her to quit. But literally Taylor was only saying, I know your mom is in cancer treatment and I don't know what's going on with you that made you quit a room to cry, but like, I'm here for you and you have to do whatever you have to do. If you feel like you're fighting and you want to give up your fight, then like, it's okay because we're partners. I will completely understand. That's all she's trying to say. It's like she wants to be there to support her. Nicole spun it around, told Daniel, and Daniel, without him even knowing,
he just went off.
He just went off on her,
it's the drama for me that
he was able to yell at her and belittle her, and no one even stepped up to like defend her, saying like, "Hey, you're talking to a woman this way," and take up for her. And it was very, very disturbing to watch, and it really made me feel bad to see her cry. And know that,
she really didn't know what was going on.
If I stand up for myself, or if I even like show any emotion to him, or show any anger towards him, I would be perceived as this stereotype. And it hurts. It really hurts me in my heart because I've been through that situation so many times. Mm-hmm. And it's like, you're not even allowed to be human because you don't want to portray a stereotype.
So do you feel like you can't get certain... when you go into a room, mm-hmm. you don't feel like somebody's going to listen to you, what you have to say, without you actually, like, they'll say it's mean, but it's being assertive. Like, if a man was doing it, it wouldn't be assertive. Like, it wouldn't look like that.
Yeah, all the time. And I experience that all the time. It is annoying because it's like, you don't want to dim who you are to make everybody else feel comfortable. I'm at the point now in my life where I just like, I don't care how you feel. Like, if I walk in a room and it make you feel some type of way, that's your problem. That's not my problem because I'm going to continue to be who I am. But at the same time, it still makes you conscious and aware of that and others because you are taught that.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I have just understand it as being a woman, but not like the double, like not my skin tone and being a woman. It's just what I get for being a woman.
Right.
Of like coming in the room and getting that type of like everybody listens to what I'm saying.
Yep.
So I can't relate to that, but I can't relate to actually just being a woman.
Exactly.
So just that little bit is already like
and really it doesn't even matter like sometimes with your skin tone. Like really I've seen many instances where men will just completely discredit a woman or like try to take a woman's idea and make it seem like it was theirs. And I'm like, well, did you get credit for that? Or like, did they even like, say that you were the one that came up with the idea? And it makes me feel some type of way when they don't stand up for themselves as well. And it's like, I get it. Like, I understand, but it sucks. I feel like that
there's more women in leadership roles.
There is,
but are we getting that same respect, money wise, all of that?
Oh, money wise, I know for a fact we're not. I know for a fact that we're not.
I don't know if we ever reached that gap.
Because
a lot of things
average, on average, like women couldn't be doing this exact same role as a man, but be making like 40% less than them. Yeah. So the money definitely is
I don't think
a huge
ever.
gap.
It's sad to say, but I don't think that the gap. It might come close, but if it does come that much closer, a lot of things will change of how they wants us to be like, we want to be equal. It's gonna be equal,
Right.
So I mean, I get it. Do I feel like that's still feasible? Yeah. That's fine. That's we'll talk about it.
Yes.
Women in leadership. Tell us, guys, how you feel about women being in leadership, or just being stereotyped as being or wanting a reaction because of their skin tone, or just anything like that. You have to like,
Comment, subscribe. Let us know if you had any experiences with that, or just any experience where people thought you were gonna behave in one way, but
you didn't show out.
you didn't show out, even though you could have. Cause
Try to say she was showing.
I could have cussed her out, but you know, why bother? Why
You was
give
home.
that energy? I was home, y'all. I was home. You understand? I've been in the airport for how long? I think it was like 9 o'clock by the time I had got home.
Girl.
And I had been at the airport since like flight was supposed to leave at 2:30, so I was at the airport like
you in the air,
1.
like an hour, 2 hours.
The flight was only like an hour, but when we finally pulled off, we didn't actually take off because the line to depart in LaGuardia was so long because of delays. We literally was probably on that runway for like an hour and a half just in line waiting to take off. So it was Bye guys. Have a nice day, and don't forget to leave a comment down below. Click that subscribe button and make sure you like it. It'll only take a second to like it. Just go ahead, just
Share it.
do a little like right there. Yeah, go ahead and share it with somebody. Give us another little view or two.